Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from PaulGaleNetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is February 10th, 2021, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, Sonic the Hedgehog at Sonic Movie on Twitter said the following: groundbreaking, thought-provoking, extremely obvious, presenting the official title of the Sonic Movie sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Catch Sonic Movie 2 in theaters in 2022. Here we go. We've got a 10-second little clip. I'm going to play it for you, and you can see for yourself. I love that music. April 8th, 2022. Should we let it go one more time? Okay, cool. That was short, sweet. April 8th, 2022. So it's 13 months off, 14 months off, I guess, technically. Well, 13 and a half, whatever. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I thought that the first Sonic was such a fun movie. And, you know, that came after, I should say, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, which was also a good video game adaptation to film. So I like this trend that Hollywood's taking so far. So good within the last couple of years. I wouldn't mind seeing another Pokemon movie. Of course, we've got Mario in a couple of years, which will be a CGI film. But for now, bravo, Sonic. I think you're going to nail it again. I like that Tails at the end of the logo. You know, we obviously had the rumor the other day on PGN regarding Jason Momoa possibly coming in as Knuckles in the film. That's just a rumor for now, though, but at least concrete info. We know when the movie's coming out. We know the title. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of the best, if not the best, video game film ever. And yeah, I thought I would start off today with some really cool, fun news. Moving on in video game world of movies and so forth. This is Pedro Pascal on the left, of course. You know him probably best from Mandalorian, maybe from other projects that he's been in over the years, but I know him particularly well recently from Mandalorian. Well, guess what? He's been cast as Joel in The Last of Us, which will be premiering, you know, in the not too distant future on HBO's platform. I think he's a fine actor. I think it's a pretty good choice. You know, he looks comparable, especially, you know, when you start adding in hair effects, dye, combing it just the right way, filling in a beard this way, that way. Obviously, you're never going to nail a look 100% of what a video game character was, but, you know, the acting, the quality of the actor or actress, you know, and the overall look, body physicality and so forth will go a long way. I think it's going to be pretty cool to see what Pedro does. And following up on this news, we got one more thing regarding Last of Us, and it's HBO TV series, and that's Bella Ramsey. Of course, I know her best from Game of Thrones, and she's going to be starring Ellie, another fine choice. You have a young female actress who has a good range and, you know, who did a fine job in Game of Thrones, getting into the thick of it as Ellie. I think the two of them, it'll be interesting to see their chemistry. Hopefully it's solid, and they could build up something special. It'll be cool to see how the show develops. How mature is it? How faithful is it to the video game, The Last of Us? And, you know, eventually if they get to The Last of Us 2, which, you know, time jump, it's going to take some time, but could this be a big hit? I think so. We'll see. Moving on in PlayStation news from something positive to something negative, not to be a naysayer, but it is what it is. This is something happening very quickly into the PlayStation 5's launch. Just a few months later, there's already at least one pretty big class action lawsuit that's being attempted at Sony for PlayStation 5 DualSense stick drift. You know, obviously, this happens on video game systems. No system is infallible, right? No system is not without some issues. You know, you got PlayStations back in the day with faulty discs. You have Nintendo 64s with dust coming in through the vents. You've got Red Ring Xbox original 360 models. You got Yellow Light of Death PlayStation 3's. You know, we've got a certain, you know, Joy-Con drift on certain Joy-Cons for Nintendo Switch, and then now PS5 has got its own errors. Of course, I reported, you know, at launch when some analog sticks were already having some issues, some of the haptics in the analog sticks, some button errors, you know, both Xbox Series X and PS5s. People were reporting different things like, you know, turn the system off, wouldn't go back on. In the case of PS5, a little more problematic when it comes to its resting mode and playing PS4 games and then just having errors pop up. So, you know, some of these things, developers, you know, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, they can iron out with system updates. Some of them, if it's a physical thing, you know, you got to go to warranty. You got to send them into Sony, send them into Nintendo, send them into Microsoft. But it's kind of problematic to have a class action lawsuit, though. You know, that's getting bigger. Of course, Nintendo has them as well, so nobody's completely safe. At least to Sony's benefit, it's happening earlier in the PlayStation 5 lifespan, right? So, you know, if they get massive amounts of people complaining about the PlayStation 5 controller and the PlayStation 5, before they go ahead and pump out, you know, tens of millions of these things that are on the market and then have a real big amount of, you know, people to deal with in repairing their controllers and dealing with a massive class action lawsuit. You know, while the system is 4.5 million sold, you know, we obviously have, you know, a new batch of several million, you know, in works in the houses right now. Can't just change the mold on them right now without having a delay on the system. No, but, you know, maybe the systems, you know, they start working, looking at the console now, looking at its problems, looking at the controller. So maybe from the 10 million mark onwards, they could fix these issues before too many broken PS5 controllers get out there and it gets out of hand, you know. In Nintendo's case, there are already 80 million plus Nintendo Switches out there. Of course, 14 or so million are Nintendo Switch Lites, which don't really have that analog drift, at least not as noticeable in the normal Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, but still, just how many people are out there with these problems on the PS5 front, on the Nintendo Switch front? Surely not everyone. It's not a one-to-one thing. Also, some of it is, you know, user error. How hard are you pressing? Are you keeping them in a clean environment? Are you letting Cheetos and chips and dust go in them? You know, these things shouldn't be weak. They shouldn't be dainty. They should be able to be played as intended, and with the understanding fact that, you know, people are going to be kind of rough with them and whatnot. As long as people aren't throwing them, though, they should last longer than a few months or a couple of years, right? So, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm sure that some of the percentage is not as high as we think, but then again, time will tell a few months down the road just how serious is this PS5 problem, because I still don't know if the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con drift case is as bad as people make it out to be. You know, I have launch Joy-Cons. Mine are still fine. I know other people with launch Joy-Cons that theirs are fine as well. But I also have heard from people that like, I'm getting a drift, you know. Some of those people that I know, it's from kids playing with it. That seems to accelerate that from how much they use it. So, let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you've been a victim, if you will, of the PS5 analog stick drift or Joy-Con drift. And do you think it's blown out of proportion, or do you think, no, there really is a high percentage of both of these controllers that are seeing errors? Moving on, in some Nintendo news, these shirts look awesome, but they're currently only available at the Nintendo New York City store, but they're really nice. You've got a green New Super Mario Bros. U shirt, gray with Super Mario World 3D Mario, Cat Mario on the front shirt, and this really nice Super Mario Odyssey red shirt. I think it looks fantastic. I honestly would probably get these three. Now, of the original batch and the second batch, I only ended up getting Super Mario 64. Part of me thinks though, should I go back and get Super Mario World, and should I get Galaxy and Sunshine and Super Mario Brothers, and just get all of them? That's a lot of shirts though, all at once, and I already have quite a few Mario shirts. But when I look at these three, I'm like, maybe get these three, get them all. But they're also only available at the Nintendo New York store, so probably would have to get them online through eBay or something. Let me know if you're in the New York area and you're watching this and it's easy for you to pick up a shirt. I might say, hey, can you pick up a shirt for me? Get a medium, send it to me, I'll Venmo you or something. Then I would consider it a little bit more. And finally today in video game news, one more thing that I might have to add to my statue collection. This is the Prime1Studio.com Masterline Street Fighter V Ryu statue, and it just looks awesome. Got a couple of different pictures here that I'm going to show you. Look at that statue. Oops, lost it. Okay, I guess I can't click the scrolling bar, so we'll have to deal with this. That's Ryu. Obviously they have cool background and stuff like that to make it look better, but that is the statue itself. Yes, it does light up. His Shinku Hadoken is real. The thing is 51.8 centimeters tall, so you're looking at 20-inch territory. You got this base, which is nice. You've got this energy from the Hadoken coming up. There's a different version of this statue with an interchangeable top half of Ryu. Here you can see they even say LED illumination, but the top half, yeah, it gives Ryu a different head sculpt. He's got the classic look, different pose with his arm. He's kind of doing like a downward block or charging up for a possible Shoryuken. Different head color, bandana. But the regular version is just this, and it's $1,000, so it's not cheap. The swappable part version, which comes with this and this top half that you take the old one off to put the new one on, makes it $1,300. So you're basically paying $300 for this to have a swappable statue. You don't get to look at two at once necessarily, but if you think of it as, well, $1,300 for two separate $650 statues that you could look at one at a time, yeah, the value kind of evens out and it could be worth it. I don't know if I should get this bundle, just this one, or pass. I have quite a few video game statues. I really like it, honestly. This is one of my favorite characters in all of video gaming. I have some Street Fighter V, or some Ryu statues I should say. Ahead of time I had the Street Fighter V one. I have the Ultimate Collection of the Street Fighter 25th Anniversary one, where Ryu does the Shoryuken spinning with the LED blue lights underneath. Obviously plenty of Street Fighter shirts, Sota Toys figurines from back in the day, the Amiibo, you name it. But this type of polystone heavy-duty statue would really look good in my entertainment center. Yeah, let me know. What do you think of this statue? And do you have any video game statues for that matter? That's the last thing on today's video game news. Just thought I'd show it because it is pretty cool. Not bad, not bad. Alright, that's going to do today for video game news. Let me know what you thought of Sonic the Hedgehog, its release date. Are you looking forward to the movie? What do you think about Pedro joining the cast of The Last of Us? And yeah, as always, thanks for your time. This is PGN signing out. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.